Okay, sorry about that, folks. I had a little technical difficulties there. We're all good now. Um, we're all good now. But I had some technical difficulties there. No, I did not get stricken. But yeah, yeah, I was what I was doing just now was I was reading uh something very interesting. Now let's go back real quick and listen to something here. so so yeah, J is for Justice is a big fat phony. And uh she is right now live basically blaming all of the YouTubers who were streaming the Jared Lasik trial and or his first hearing, whatever it was. And uh this person who's up here dragging respectable creators such as Duty Ron, and you know, to me that's not okay, not at all. As much good as this guy's done, and that's the thing is her trashing him for, you know, saying thank you for super chats and for asking people to become a member, for basically shilling his channel and trying to make a little money off of his channel. That's He's a retired cop. He's a retired homicide detective. I say all of these cops, except for, with the exception of Chris McDonough, who does what he does very, very shittily, very, very unethically, with the exception of him, I'd say all of these retired police officers who have true crime channels and offer their professional insight into some of these cases, I'm grateful for them. And I say, fuck yeah, fucking pay them. What's wrong with them feeling like, you know, trying to make a little extra coin in their retirement twilight years? Have they not earned that? Are they not earning memberships and super chats and donations? Are they not earning that by actually giving expert, experienced insight? Is that not worth super chats? She gets super chats. The hell is her problem? Right. Yeah, anybody who talks shit about Duty Ron has just got to be jealous, or any of these other guys. Police Off the Cuff, another great channel, man. Mike King, the profiling evil, that that dude is amazing. Like all of these guys, I say go into their chats and I say super chat the hell out of them, just out of appreciation for the service that they've done uh, as civil servants. You know, I mean, just for that, much less the content that they're putting out, much less the content that they're putting out. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so this person here, she says this, which I think is hilarious.
And okay, a child rape case. He's been on the coattails of everybody on YouTube, which really is no big surprise. He hasn't had content of his own.
So she's talking about me not having my own content.
3 years.
But see, here's the thing about
he's been on the coattails of everybody on YouTube for 3 years. It's got to get tiring.
Here's the thing about that, Jay. I've never been sued for it, and I'm not going to get sued for it. See, people don't sue me because they don't have grounds to. You get sued because you do dirty shit. Your buddy Critical K gets sued because she does dirty shit. That's the difference. That's the big difference. Such as, I'm going to read this. I'm just not going to show it. This agreement is made and entered into as of the date last executed below by the Between Nexstar Media Incorporated on the one hand and JS for Justice Podcast LLC. JS for Justice, together with on the other hand, Nexstar, JS, blah 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 party and are collectively the parties. Hold on, I'm getting some. Aha. Okay, I just have to get, because there's a lot of personal information here, and I want to get past that. I'm not interested in the personal information. So this is basically, and I'll show a quick flash because this does not have any personal information here. This is a document, an actual document of someone suing her. Okay. So that's an actual document of someone suing her. What I want to get to here is the violation, what she's being sued for. Because I just got sent this, so I'm not I'm just kind of getting familiar with this document. So J is for Justice. She is fully competent to execute this agreement to make the representation. Hold on, here we go. J is for Justice covenants and represents that it is fully competent to execute this agreement to make the representation herein and to agree to the terms, contents, conditions, and effects that before executing this agreement, it has been fully informed of the arguments, terms, and contents, conditions, and effects, that no promise or representation of any kind has been made to it by Nexstar or by any person acting for Nexstar except as expressly stated in this agreement, that has made this agreement without any threat, force, duress, fraud, or representation of any kind by any person except for the representations contained in this agreement, and that in executing this agreement, it is relying solely on completely upon its own judgment and the advice of its legal counsel of choice. If J is for Justice further covenants and warrants that prior to execution of this agreement, it is removed all videos containing the works or any other Nexstar owned content from its YouTube channel and any other digital platforms that it owns, operates, and controls. So basically, what she was doing was stealing content and passing it off as her own. You can't do that. See, what I do is I play content such as hers, like right now, and it falls under those two little words, folks. It falls under those two little words. Please type them in the chat because we know them so well. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. Plagiarism on her end. Me, I add commentary. I add commentary. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at y'all. Look at y'all. You guys know. You guys know. You guys know. Oh my goodness. You guys know. I love it. I love it.
It's got to get tiring, I would think.
Oh, but it's not, because now I got a new toy.
I know. I'm very disappointed, and I think it's very ridiculous.
Wow. You, of all people, think it's very ridiculous.
To be that
That's interesting. That's fantastic.
lax when you're on a WebEx for a child rape case.
Dude, shut the fuck
Flo
up.
says, play it again, Sam. I did clip part of it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you look at her chat, dude, like, if you look at her chat, she's in here and she's trying to act all high and mighty, talking about it's very lax to do something like that on a child rape case. But here's your comments section, your chat cracking jokes about it, and you're highlighting the jokes and talking about them and reading them off. So I mean, which is it? You know, what's lax? Why are you so high and mighty about a child rape case when you're sitting here cracking jokes about this? And I'm very disappointed. You're not disappointed.
Okay, again.
You don't give a fuck.
Right. Here we go. Oh, I know, he's so gross. Like, go take a shower, Glare. For reals. Oh, so
That's
Jared gets 2 weeks.
Take a shower.
Yeah, I did get media clearance.
Oh, okay. I got media clearance.
No laws broke here, so go ahead and report all you fucks, whatever you want to do.
Nobody's trying to fucking report you, for fuck's sake. Like, you're not that
Lady
important.
Autumn Sky, I have the official approved document from the court. I don't need to go back and check anything. And then think about it, loop it for him. I will. Think about it too. The girl who had to wait, you know, and get the courage to do this was sitting there waiting, and now she's got to sit back and wait 2 more weeks. Think about that.
Right.
Think about that, Glare. Why don't you talk about that, Glare?
Okay, I will. We're not gonna. Nobody's denying that. But you're sitting here and you're dragging YouTube creators who just didn't know better. That's all that is. This is the judge's fault. This is on the judge for making it public where anybody can join this stream. There should have been private invites sent to anybody that was involved in this hearing. That's it. That's on the judge. That is not on these YouTubers who are simply streaming a court case like any other. In their minds, that's what they were doing. They didn't know that they were actually part of this whole thing necessarily. Should they have? Maybe. But it wasn't a malicious thing, and it wasn't even careless. It was a simple mistake. There was nothing malicious about it. There was nothing disrespectful, deliberately disrespectful to these victims about it. It was just a simple mistake. So yes, you wanted me to talk about it? That's my opinion on that. You're an asshole for pointing out and targeting these YouTubers for making a simple mistake. Okay, what they're not doing is sitting up there and dragging a man who just lost the mother of his child for 3 hours without any indication, without any evidence or even any indication that he was guilty, and he turned out to be completely innocent and heartbroken. And having to raise a baby, an infant, by himself. Just put in this position. And the entire time that this man was worried to death about his child and his child's mother. He had to deal with the scrutiny from YouTubers with large platforms such as yours, falsely accusing him of a crime that you didn't even know took place yet. So what's worse? A retired homicide detective who put in decades of grunt work, putting bad guys behind bars and bringing closure to victims and their families. Decades of hard work while being called a pig by people who can't appreciate it. And then making a simple mistake that he wasn't the only one who made. Every other YouTuber that was on that panel made the same mistake. So you don't get to sit here and point fingers about people being disrespectful to these victims when you have never had any respect for victims, Jay. Never. And you have the audacity to disrespect a retired homicide detective who has actually brought closure and solved murders. So yeah, you wanted me to talk about it? That's me talking about it.
That's way more interesting.
Oh, and she made it private. Aw, poor Jay can't take the heat. She can't take the heat. Oh, Jay. What's wrong? Truth hurt? Yeah. These fucking people, man. Like, yeah, as long as there's shitty people on YouTube, I won't have I'll have endless content. And my channel is going to continue to grow and grow just like it has been. I'm never in the negative. I'm never going backwards. Never. And all because I do everything I do ethically. And I call out you unethical shitbags. Yeah, that's my content. And I'm damn proud of it. And I'm going to continue to do it. And you know what's funny is I hope that there's no more shitbags on YouTube and I don't have any more content. But guess what? I'll find a way to make more content. I'll find another way. I'll find some other way to make more content, no matter what. So keep on being a shitbag, Jay. And guess what? Now I'm going to start reviewing you since you decided to pick on decent people for no reason. I'm disappointed. It's so lax. I'm disappointed. Shut the fuck up. Let's see here. I'm just seeing if there's anything new in regards to the idiots in Moscow right now. Jesus. I'm so glad you guys couldn't hear that.
Before I get started, I just want to let you guys know, welcome to the members and the subscribers.
I gotta turn her down.
Drama-free zone. If you guys,
I love when she says that. This is a drama-free zone, but no, it's not. Like, what do you have when you don't have any facts on a case? You have just drama.
You guys have not got the message. We do have haters, and that's okay. They can hate from afar, but we're not bringing it into my house.
Oh, but you are. And it's not hate. I don't hate you, Betty. You complete me.
But I did want to say hi to Serena, Amy M. Did you
Yo.
get dinner and warmed up? Didn't get dinner. We had
Está mal. Yo.
a lunch. We had a large lunch.
Dude, what is going on con esa cara, bro?
Because we had just pulled into town.
Cara mal.
Starving. So we ate, and then we went out to the property, and then we just got back here. We're just kind of winding down. Olivia's editing. Well, she's out getting us some drinks right at the moment, but she is editing her videos. She's going to be going live around 8:30. So this is going to be right about a 2-hour live tonight, and we're going to open it up fairly quickly if we can. Now, I don't know. I'm on internet, Wi-Fi. We know how it goes. I have my handy dandy box here, but the problem with the box is we're in a hotel room, and I was going to run off the box, and it showed that I had my internet wasn't connecting right. So I ended up switching over to the hotel Wi-Fi, and that's what I'm on right now. So yes, we are getting warmed up. Olivia's getting us some drinks, and then she's going to edit some videos while I'm on this live, and then she's going to go live, and we're going to pretty much be done. Thank you, Linda Lou, for why they didn't move those cars. I can tell you, it appears that law enforcement
Wait.
that they had to collect from, they had enforcement that's sitting on the house. So everything is doing well. They made the decision to move the cars. Everybody's like, why now? Why now? Well, first of all, they had an enormous amount of evidence that they had to collect from the house. And with all the cars there, it's like, well, why didn't they take them sooner? There could be a number of reasons. One, they may have not gotten the court order from the courts to remove those cars yet. I mean, that could be a very plausible reason why they didn't move those cars. I can tell you, it appears that law enforcement has been sitting on that house since this murders happened. So I'm not really, the whole car thing is fine, because like I said, if law enforcement's sitting on that house, nobody's messing with the house. I'm sure when Chris McDonough was there was law enforcement sitting on the house.
Why wouldn't there be law enforcement sitting on that house? Like, what would make you think that the most talked about murder case of the year, and the most publicized case of the year, why would you think that there would not be someone there to make sure that that evidence is not being tampered with by anybody? that would be first thing. If I'm organizing an investigation, okay, I'm going to put somebody, we're keeping people in shifts that are going to just sit at the house and make sure nobody fucks with anything while we investigate, at least until we're done processing all of the evidence in the house.
So they've been protecting. Ooh, I hear. Do we have drinks? We got drinks.
Oh my God.
You guys are balancing on a pillow.
So that's what we're doing. So okay, so we're flying out to Idaho. We're breaking each other's shit in our luggage. And we're not looking at press release updates, and we're complaining about the cold, and then we're getting drunk. That's what we're doing. Cool.
You guys see sickness. I'm sorry. Oh, they didn't have soda? They didn't have regular soda either? I wanted a Diet Coke and...
Oh, okay. I think they're just... No, I don't think they're drinking alcohol. I think she's just thirsty.
Big deal. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
like, you know,
I just need something to wet my
the other
whistle. I'm
kind of
telling you, I'm
thirsty.
tired.
We know she's
I'm
that kind of
exhausted. It was
thirsty, but
freezing
then there's
cold.
the other
If
kind
you
of
guys
thirsty.
didn't notice that, I'm telling you, it was so cold. I've got gloves now.
No,
I
see,
got gloves.
yeah, I mean,
And we
I'm
got
not.
gloves that have little cutouts.
First of all, I'm nobody to trash anybody for drinking, but if I'm going out to investigate a case, I promise you I'm staying sober the entire time. But I think the drinks were just soft drinks. That's all.
So this little thing flap here goes over the, and we need it because, you know, like we're out there, we're touching our phones and stuff like that. We got to be able to.
I mean, I'm not going to be unfair.
Get our phones on. So this, it's what I decided to go with. And it's got a little button here. And then you just take these here and you put them in like this. Now you got a mitten. Isn't that cute? And I can still work on my phone. So yeah, these aren't leather. They're not my leather gloves. My leather gloves are in the bottom of my bag. But the leather gloves, if I can beat the phone and it won't move. I mean, nothing works. You got to have special gloves for these touch phones, or you got to use your fingers. So I decided to get these. We'll see. I doubt that they'll keep my.
I mean,
hands.
Dude, on this channel, you all can talk about whoever the fuck you want, as long as they deserve it. As long as you're not being unfair, you know what I mean? Like, you have your own experiences. You can talk about them all you want, man. It doesn't matter. You know, especially if you know that they do fucked up shit. That's what we do here. We call them out. So, like, you guys, you know, you can talk about whatever you want in here, man. Just as long as you're not doxing anybody, and as long as you're not, you know, being shitty and unfair to somebody who doesn't deserve it. Like, I'm not going to have people trash talk Duty Ron. And the worst thing you could say about Duty Ron is that he's, you know, that he's all about making that money. Well, so what? So what? Has he not earned it? Has that man not earned it? Like, all of the years that dude put in to being a homicide detective in one of the most violent cities in the country. Like, how are you doing anything but giving that dude props? And why? Because he, you know, didn't realize he had a hot mic? So what?
Hands warm, but they won't keep them warm. You know what I'm saying? I'll still probably be freezing. My feet, my toes absolutely hurt. I had boots on, I had socks on, I had thick boots.
Dude,
on.
I was the same way, Diggs. Yesterday, I was he let me on his panel yesterday, man. And I totally, because I've always wanted to like talk to him and Ed together. Because I got questions, you know what I mean? Like the stuff I talk about on here, you know, I'm always wanting to talk to somebody who, you know, and a lot of it's just like I'm looking for validation. Like, I have in theory my opinions on things and how they're going to work out and how they should work out. And and I'm not experienced. I'm not an experienced law enforcement agent. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a mental health professional in any way, shape, or form. But in theory, I talk about things and I discuss things and I give my opinions. And my opinions, it's nice when somebody who does this for a living or has done it for a living, you know, pretty much validates my opinions. And that was pretty cool, you know, because last night I asked them some questions. I asked both of them some questions, and they were really insightful in the way that they answered them, as insightful as they could be. And they, you know, yeah, man, I was like, yeah, I'm totally fanboying right now, man. This is awesome. So it was really cool of them to answer my questions and do it so well. And they confirmed. We didn't name any names. I didn't want to bring what I do to their channel necessarily, because I call people out by name. I don't give a shit, and I review their content. But I didn't want to bring that over there, and I could tell it was making Duty Ron a little bit uncomfortable. You know, because I think he was worried that I was going to start naming names, and I wouldn't do that. But I asked him straight up, like, how can this, what these people are doing, how can this affect a case? Bro, look at that face, bro. Look at that. Sorry. I asked, how could this affect a case? You know, what these people are out here doing, and they were like, yeah, they you could tell that they both actually got mad just thinking about it. They got angry just thinking about it. It was really, I was like, ooh, I felt kind of like, oh, yo, did I touch a nerve here? You know what I mean? Like, as police officers, as professionals, you know, they're out there, they're collecting all this evidence in order to get a conviction in court. And that was my specific question. I was like, how can these actions actually affect a court case? Let's say if there's an arrest made and then that person decides to plead not guilty and it goes to trial, and you know this person's guilty and there is enough evidence, how can what they're doing affect that? And Ed answered my question exactly how I've been saying it on this on this channel. In theory, I've been saying what it's going to do is give fuel to a defense attorney, and the way he started off answering that question was saying a defense attorney's job is to create reasonable doubt. And with these people going around and tampering with possible suspects, potential witnesses, you know, this is totally irresponsible. And here they are talking about that they're doing it in the name of justice, and they're just simply not.
In the cold was still my toe. I could hardly walk. I mean,
she's still complaining about the cold.
Felt like if somebody,
like, she's still complaining about the cold, bro. Like, you know who deserves to complain? All of those people that she was disrespecting out in Savannah. All of those people that were in hazmat suits digging through garbage, digging through 2 million pounds of garbage to find the remains of a 20-month-old baby. Those people have earned the right to complain. Whether it be them being uncomfortable, whether it being smelly. And here's the thing is, I bet you none of them really did. I bet you they were just focused on the task. I'm willing to bet that nobody had the audacity to complain to somebody else, because those people were so focused on getting that little boy justice. While she's out there yelling through a bullhorn and screaming at people and cussing at kids and talking about people being baby killers at children. While these men and women were out there getting it done. Like, seriously, man. Like, who the fuck are you, bro?
somebody just flipped it, it would shatter. I thought it was that frozen. So, but as you can see, I'm in a warm room because I'm wearing a tank top. It is like literally freezing outside. When we came back in, I had to go for a vape run. I did not realize here in Washington, God, you need to have a license to sell vapes. So the only place I can get vapes,
like, you just see, she's not even. She's like the Hulk in the Avengers, bro. Like, that's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. Even when she's not mad, she's mad. Like, look at her fucking face. Look at all the hatred in her face right now. And she's not even like angry. She's just generally angry all the time to where it just comes out once in a while. But she's just mad, bro. Look at her face.
This is a vape shop. Like, I gotta go in there and smell all that marijuana just to get my nicotine. It stinks. Did you hear?
Dude, only an asshole complains about the smell of weed, bro. Like, seriously, weed does not smell bad. Like, I understand complaining about the smell of weed. Like, if somebody smells like weed and then they get into your car and you're about to go visit your in-laws, that's like, whoa, dude, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But it's not like weed smells bad, you know? And here she is, like, acting like, like, you got to prioritize, Betty. You got to figure out, like, what's bad and what's good. You got that all mixed up. Like, who complains about fucking having to smell weed? Like, I understand if like you're an employer and your employee walks in smelling like weed and they have to like talk to customers. No, that's inappropriate. That's not okay. I understand that, but you walked into a fucking shop where they sell weed and you're complaining about the smell of weed. Like, you walked into a dispensary to get a vape and you're complaining about the smell of weed. That's like walking into a fucking Starbucks and being like, God, it smells like fucking coffee in here. Ew. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, God. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have came into this McDonald's. It smells like burgers and fries. Ugh.
You hear Richard Allen just got released? Oh wow. How did he get released? Why would he get released? Did he post bond? Hope you and Olivia are a lot warmer. Yes, we're a lot warmer. We're a lot warmer.
People encourage
I
this
know.
bullshit.
Well, Brian was telling me when we were leaving there.
Still talking
I don't
about.
know if many of you guys know. There's a few people. You know, we've been around. For example, Brian Enton was
Here comes the name dropping of Brian Enton.
new to News Nation when Gabby Petito was going off. I don't think he had been there very long. He got this. I think he had like literally 10 or 20,000 subscribers to his Twitter. And that kind of blew him up. Well, we all, you know, we were out there for weeks.
That's because he did consistent and amazing coverage of it. He wasn't out there screaming through a bullhorn and making signs and putting laundry baskets on somebody's fucking lawn. Like, what he did was, every time there was even the slightest update, he would at least tweet it. That's why Brian Enton got to where he was from that case, because he actually put in work.
Weeks on end. And there's also the Daily Mail guy that takes photos. And I remember his name every time I see him, but I forget it literally after he's gone. I forget his name and I don't know why. It's horrible of me to do, because I literally see him. He was actually out front with me many mornings during Quentin Simon's case. We were out there chatting and talking about, you know, in about what we know, what we heard, all this other stuff. But every morning,
no, meaning translation, I would be bothering him. I'd be bothering him and trying to leech information off of him and pass it off as my own.
I got there. He was there, you know, watching the house, taking photos of anybody that's coming and going. So by the time I got there in the morning, I'd be like, hey, you know, anything interesting? And he'll tell me, oh yeah, Leilani left today, you know, or Leilani and Billy Joe left and stuff like that. Well, I saw Brian as soon as we got there. He came by and said, hey, you know, he came up and talked to us for a little bit, and he was already working on he was about to go live. So I always tell him, you know, when you go live, let me know, because I always have the big mouth and I always tell him, gotta let me know so I'm not saying something in the screen. He's like, I know, Betty, I know. But he's
you could just turn on your fucking notifications
out here, and he has the luxury because he's got a TV, a crew. Like we've got me and Olivia, but he's got a crew. So while his crew is out there in the freezing cold with the cameras on the house, he's inside the truck staying nice and warm, right? We don't get that luxury out there. Like Olivia's taking photos and
oh my god, dude. Like she's still talking about the weather.
You guys all entertained,
like still
while we're discussing this horrific case. My perspective has changed since being out here. I have to be honest with you. Many of you guys know I was thinking this was a lot more close to the victims. We heard that that there was a targeted person, and I still believe there was a targeted person.
Nobody gives a shit what you believe.
But with clarification,
you don't have any information to come to that conclusion. See, the only reason that any of us with common sense believe that there was a targeted person in that scenario, in that murder, in that quadruple murder, is because law enforcement said so. That's it. Not because we have all of this evidence like law enforcement has that led us to get to this theory and to this belief. That's not what happened. Law enforcement collected the evidence and it got them to this point to where they feel, okay, this looks like it was targeted. You haven't even seen the crime scene. You don't even know. Like, all you know is that the autopsy results dictate that they were stabbed to death and it was a murder. That's all you know. That's all any of us know. Don't sit here and talk about what you believe. You don't have any reason other than what you should be saying, simply because I'm not afraid to say that. The only reason that I believe that this was a targeted attack was because law enforcement told me that it was a targeted attack. Period. That's it. They're the ones who collected the evidence. Sit here and act like you know. You don't know shit.
I was literally, we were stationed right next to Brian. So Brian was right here, we were right here, and then our Daily Mail photographer was right next to me on this
our
side.
Daily Mail photographer.
And, so I was able to eavesdrop and actually turn the next to me on this, and then our Daily Mail photographer.
Our Daily Mail photographer. What?
Was right next to me on this side.
She's delusional.
And, so I was able to eavesdrop and actually turn the camera. I don't know. Oh, thank you. I'll get to you guys in just. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate the super sticker. I'll get to you guys in just a second and pull those up when I get down there because I'm already behind by about 20 minutes. So just bear with me, and I'm behind the chat about 20 minutes. But anyways,
like,
so
it's
I was
already
listening and I turned the camera, but I don't know how much of the
it's already almost noon over there. Why isn't she live? Like, doing her investigations. What's going on, Betty? Where's the investigations?
Camera, because it was the iPhone that I was using, so I don't know how good the voice was, or if you guys could hear Brian when he was giving his doing his News Nation stuff. But he said that he spoke to law enforcement, and that law enforcement, he was trying.
Why wouldn't we just watch him? Why? Like, so let me get this straight. So here she's like soft bragging that she was next to Brian Enton, and she hopes that her mic picked up his report to his followers. Oh, Betty, you're killing me, dude.
He was trying to see if there was any way they could find out who was targeted, and they broadened it. Like, we've been hearing through the grapevine that one was targeted. I still believe one was targeted, but Brian got information that it was the house, not necessarily a specific person. I don't know how confident I am with that, but it is possible.
Wait, what?
And whenever I heard that, I had already started changing my. It is specific. Brian got in one was targeted. I still believe one was targeted.
Hold on a second,
But
actually.
Brian got information that it was the house, not necessarily a specific person. I don't know how confident I am with that, but it is possible. And whenever I heard that, I had already started changing my theory a little bit about what took place. And this is what typically happens every time we come out to a case. What we heard online, even like Chris McDonough, we listened to his entire interview, his entire, looked at his footage and everything on the way up here. And
so that's how you get your facts from YouTubers that fabricate shit. Good to know. Okay, hold on a second here. Here, I'll just let this play real quick while I do this.
He was talking about how this area is like quiet, it's off a cul-de-sac and everything. Like, even though the way he was describing it almost implied nobody is really driving around there. That is totally untrue.
Okay, so
that
this is
a busy place. That little area right there is a very, very busy place. Even though they live on a cul-de-sac, but they have two huge apartments.
So this is from yesterday,
literally
people.
On the other side of them. So
this is from yesterday. Give me 1 second here. So Moscow PD released two press releases. Two press releases. One of them we went over yesterday, but I had already finished my live before this one actually came out. But I don't think Betty's gone over it yet, because how could there be two press releases in one day? So Moscow, Idaho, the Moscow Police Department. Actually, this is from the day before. Sorry about that. So this is actually older. But I had not gone over this yet. Hold on a second. Sorry. So the Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts surrounding the four murders that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. Updated information. There have been media questions regarding a February 2022 death on Baker Street. The Latah County Coroner's Office has confirmed the death was due to an overdose. This case is not related to the ongoing murder investigation. There has been online reports of a red Mustang on South Deacon Street being processed as part of the murder investigation. This information is not accurate, and the vehicle is not connected to this incident. And then, of course, tips. Detectives are looking for context to the events and people involved in these murders to assist with the ongoing investigation. Any odd or out of the ordinary events that took place should be reported. Our focus is on the investigation, not the activities. Your information, whether you believe it is significant or not, might be a piece of the puzzle to help investigators solve these murders. Now, I want to be very specific. What it says here is to report any out of the ordinary events. That does not mean theories, people. So just please be responsible with this tip line. So yeah, please be responsible with this tip line. Don't go flooding them with your crazy bullshit. So, people can construe that as, well, they're saying call for anything. No, they're not saying call for anything. They're asking you to call with information. Okay. All of these press releases, these are the most press releases that I've ever seen a law enforcement agency release, because they're being very careful. They're learning from the mistakes of other investigations. And what they're doing is they're really trying to control the misinformation, and they're really trying to control the speculation and the wild theories being thrown around. Goes on to say, at this time, no suspect has been identified, and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. There is speculation without factual backing, stoking community fears, and spreading false facts. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate information and updated progress. So I don't see what good her being out there is going to do. It makes absolutely no sense that she would be doing what she's doing.
Would you say at least 20, right? No, about 30 on each side, 15 on the bottom, 15 on the top, 10 to 15 units on the top and bottom. And then you got to think that that's not just, it's probably on both sides of the building, but even if it was just the 30 units on that one, you have a whole nother building with the same amount. So you're looking at an additional 60 plus people. And I guarantee those properties that are in that apartment are probably set up kind of like this other house where multiple people are to live in it. So now you're multiplying that times 2 or 3 people, depending on how many bedrooms they are. And so the idea that this is a quiet little cul-de-sac, that's not true. This is a very hustle, and wouldn't you agree with that? Like a busy area.
Yeah. We saw a lot of college kids taking the trash out.
College kids taking trash out, doing,
Wow.
walking the dogs.
I mean, I'd need proof of that.
So
but
yes, it is on a cul-de-sac, but no, it's very busy there. So there's a lot of activity in that area. And long story short is we really did preview the property, even though we were cold, we were tired. Olivia and I didn't even get into our room last night until about 2:30, and we had to wake up at 5:15 this morning and get on the road. And we didn't arrive into Moscow until right about noon. And we ate about between 11 and noon.
Unbelievable,
we were
dude.
out there on the scene about 12:15.
So her big. So, okay. So her assessment, where there were 4 people killed in their sleep, according to law enforcement, 4 people killed in their sleep, and 2 roommates that didn't see or hear anything but were home. And so far, she put together that this house is built for multiple people to live in. Really? For real? You think? So Betty's an architect now, by the way, guys.
My calculations are, accurate. But we walked it.
I got to hear that spiel one more time.
College kids taking trash are. Now you're multiplying that times units.
I got to hear all that again.
But they're totally
hilarious.
And he was talking about how this area is like quiet. It's off a cul-de-sac and everything. Like, even though the way he was describing it almost implied nobody is really driving around there. That is totally untrue. That is a busy place. That little area right there is
dude.
Very, very
when somebody says it's quiet, that doesn't mean that traffic doesn't go through there. It means that there's no trouble. When there's a quiet neighborhood, it means that people just keep to themselves and it's quiet. It doesn't mean that it's a ghost town and no cars go through there. What the fuck are you talking about?
Very busy place. Even though they live on a cul-de-sac, but they have 2 huge apartment buildings literally on the other side of them. So you're talking about 2, 4, 6. How many apartments would you say? At least 20, right? No, about 30 on each side, 15 on the bottom, 15 on the top, 10 to 15 units on the top and bottom. And then you got to think that that's not just, it's probably on both sides of the building, but even if it was just the 30 units on that one, you have a whole nother building with the same amount. So you're looking at an additional 60 plus people. And I guarantee those properties that are in that apartment are probably set up kind of like this other house where multiple people are to live in it. So now you're multiplying that times 2 or 3 people, depending on how many bedrooms they are. And so the idea that this is a quiet little cul-de-sac, that's not true. This is a very hustle, and wouldn't you agree with that? Like a
hustle and bustle. Yeah, quiet just, dude, Betty, quiet just means that people keep to themselves and they don't act like assholes. Quiet means that they don't have people screaming through bullhorns across the street. That's what quiet means. Quiet doesn't mean that there's no people coming in and out of where they live, or there's a lot of people living there. That's not what quiet means. Like, what are you talking about? And I see what she's saying. What she's getting at here is she thinks that somebody had to have seen something. It's possible. Okay. But I promise you that law enforcement has interviewed everybody in that area. Everybody who is at least willing to talk to them. And I don't think that anybody would not be willing to talk to them. So law enforcement has already conducted all of these interviews. So that's number one. Number two, what she's planning on doing, the reason why she's so focused on that is she thinks that she's going to go around and interview these people. She's going to knock on doors and she's going to ask people questions that can hinder this investigation. That can completely and totally fuck up a trial if there is an arrest made and that person pleads not guilty. And she just doesn't seem to care.
Area.
We saw a lot of college kids taking the trash out.
College kids taking trash out, doing, walking the dogs.
Oh my God.
A number of things. So yes, it is on a cul-de-sac, but no, it's very busy there. So there's a lot of activity in that area. And long story short is we really did preview the property, even though we were cold, we were tired. Olivia and I didn't even get into our room last night.
We previewed the property. We previewed the property. Even though we were cold
last night until about 2:30, and we had to wake up at 5:15 this morning and get on the road, and we didn't arrive into Moscow until right about noon, and we ate about between 11 and noon. We were out there on the scene about 12:15 if my calculations are accurate, but we walked it, and there was a few things that I don't feel was expressed with the other people. Oh, by the way, hi everyone that's coming in. If you guys have not liked this, please go out and give me a thumbs up. We're out here working. You can see I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I've been up since 5:15 this morning. We've been running. Right now, I'm still on East Coast time, but I'm in the Pacific. So I'm 3 hours behind. Like right now, it's 9:15. And if you guys know anything about me, I'm usually in bed about this time, or at least getting ready to go to bed at this time. And I'm just now starting the live, and we have to get up before dawn and go back out and start getting set up. So, and we're going to be changing locations. We're probably going to be in front of that house. I feel really safe right now in front of that house. We have law enforcement out there. It's not crazy. We're here in a professional capacity reporting. And
you mean as opposed to yelling and screaming through a bullhorn? Is that what you mean by a professional capacity? Which you're not, by the way, because you're not a professional. So you can't be there in a professional capacity. So no. Right? So yeah, you can't be there in a professional capacity because you're not a professional at all. Like you're a professional Karen at best.
It gives me a level of comfort.
And why? Okay, you feel safe out there because there's law enforcement. You feel safe because you're not yelling through a bullhorn and disturbing the peace, because nobody's going to put up with that shit out there. So we still have yet to see exactly what you plan on doing out there. Are you just out there to fangirl Brian Enton? Because that's totally what it seems like. That you're just simply fangirling Brian Enton. Like, you're going out there to and all you're doing is complaining about the cold and saying, I hope my mic picked up what Brian Enton said. Like, I could do that here and be warm. I just turned on my space heater, man. I'm comfy. I'm toasty.
Already spoken to the detective that was out there. I've already spoken to some police. We're going to be going to the police department tomorrow.
You mean the detective?
Well, there's a couple things.
You mean the detective who blew you off and stonewalled you and told you just look at the press release? There's a press release. The press release that you didn't know about.
Already know people on YouTube are probably calling law enforcement to let them know how despicable this crazy woman is, right? And they try to attack the fact that
Fuck you, Billy.
I have now my own press badge, and they want to keep going down this trail of me not being legit. I'm legit.
Hold on.
And they
wait.
Tomorrow, you know, it gives me a level of comfort. I've already spoken to the detective that was out there. I've already spoken to some police. We're going to be going to the police department tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking to the police doesn't count them saying, hey, just can you step back?
Because, well, there's a couple things. We already know people on YouTube are probably calling law enforcement to let them know how despicable this crazy woman is, right?
Was that justice? Thank you. I appreciate that. Previewed the house like they are home shopping. This pile of poop makes me sick. Hold on.
YouTube department tomorrow. Because, well, there's a couple things. We already know people on YouTube are probably calling law enforcement to let them know how despicable this crazy woman is, right? And they try to attack the fact that I have now my own press badge.
It's not an attack. It's simply pointing out a fact that you just made up a press badge. Like you used PicMonkey or whatever the fuck app with your phone and you made a press badge and printed it out and laminated it. Like that doesn't make you press. That does not legitimize you.
And they keep going down this trail of me not being legit. I'm legit.
You're not legit. You had your legitimacy, even, and that was even questionable, but you had that revoked. We showed the proof. Burnt Toast went over all of it. I went over all of it yesterday. When
Brian Enton acknowledges you, I don't know how much more you need to know.
Right?
Period. These are multiple cases I've covered. I've been on Media Row on many of these cases, sitting right next to the media professionals, because that's what I am. And whether or not people want to acknowledge it or not, they're going to have to eat it. They can call here all they want and say this, that, and the other. They can't do that anymore. They can't do that anymore. They can.
Wait, what?
But there's nothing law enforcement.
What?
Cases I've covered. I've been on. Enton acknowledges you. I don't know how much more you need to know. Period. Trail of me not being legit. I'm legit. I'm sorry, but when Brian Enton acknowledges you, I don't.
When Brian Enton acknowledges you, dude, the dude was just like, hey, Bullhorn Betty, what's up? How you doing? Because you happen to show up wherever this dude is working to cause a scene. And he was just being polite and cordial. That's it. He didn't go, hey, caught that work you did on the Quentin Simon thing, man. Good stuff. He didn't do that at all. He was like, oh, fucking Bullhorn Betty. Like he made eye contact and was like stuck in a position. You ever like make eye contact with somebody and you're just like, fuck, oh shit, I guess I got to say hi to him. Dude, because he acknowledged your existence does not legitimize you as press. It means that you insert yourself in places that you don't belong and you're going to be noticed when you don't belong there.
I don't know how much more you need to know. Period. These are multiple cases I've covered. I've been on Media Row on many of these cases, sitting right next to the media professionals, because that's what I am.
No,
And whether
it's because you just stick yourself there. Those people went to college and got jobs. That's the difference between you and them. Those people went to college, learned about journalism, got a degree in journalism, and then got jobs as journalists. You printed out a press pass on your computer from 1992. Annie, thank you so much. Thank you, Will, for calling this piece of shit out. Utmost respect. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here.
whether or not people want to acknowledge it or not, they're going to have to eat it. They can call here all they want and say this, that, and the other. They can't do that anymore.
Well, I'm not calling anybody.
They can't.
I did leave a comment under Brian Enton's tweet because, you know, he was aware of the press release. Imagine being a member of the press and being aware of a press release and then tweeting about it, because that's what he does. And he tweeted about the cars being towed and the press release regarding that. And I put a comment saying, yo, make sure the authorities know that this crazy fucking lady's out there, dude. Make sure they know. I would tell all your colleagues. And I got a bunch of likes on that too. Everybody was like, yes. Fuck this lady, not again.
But there's nothing law enforcement can do about it. Nothing. They're wasting their time and energy. But
well, now they can't, okay? Because she does have the right to be out there, folks. But she's also not doing what she was doing in Savannah. Right now, since she got her shit revoked, she's hoping maybe she can jump on somebody else's bandwagon and ride some other coattails. She's hoping that can happen. And so what she's doing is she's on her best behavior right now out there. She didn't yell and scream. She didn't trespass. She didn't do anything like that. But she also did absolutely nothing but a very, very mediocre weather report. Like as bad as weather reports get. Like imagine a meteorologist or a weather person being out in the snow with their microphone and going, damn it, it's cold. My toes. Yeah, like you didn't even do that right, you know, and you didn't even give the right temperature. You said it was 12 degrees. It was 21 degrees. BHB, I did notify them. Just a friendly email to the city manager. Thank you. Was that justice? I appreciate that. Like she didn't even like do that right. Media Row.
But they still do it because they're sick in the head. And Angela,
I'm sick in the head, y'all.
I'm talking to you.
Angela.
You know, I am talking to you, Angela.
I don't know who Angela is.
Not that any Angelas that are in here. She knows who I'm talking about. She even tried to say, oh, I sent a package to Mexico. Okay. So you're intentionally trying to cause problems with me, my business, and how I go out and earn a living. Okay. Well, I hate to tell you.
No. Betty, see, again, it's not about you. Okay. These are people who care about justice for these victims. What they're trying to do is make sure that you don't fuck up an ongoing investigation. That's what they're trying to do. They don't give a fuck about your living. I'm like, dude, make all the money in the world. I hope that she becomes successful as fuck. Absolutely. But what she does is dangerous, and it's disrespectful to victims. It's disrespectful to investigators and people who it's disrespectful to members of the press. as stated by the founding director of U.S. Press Corps in that email that I went over yesterday. It's disrespectful to literally everybody with a legitimate position that are charged with some responsibility in some capacity of getting justice for these victims. And you're not doing anything to help that. You're just fucking things up. You're just making things more difficult for them. And so when these people report you, it's because they want to intercept your efforts that are driven by greed to interfere with an ongoing investigation. It's just that simple.
To burst your bubble, you can't do that. So don't tell me you're for the law when you're breaking the law. Because just because it's civil doesn't mean you're not breaking the law. It just means you're not going to go to jail for breaking the law. It doesn't.
You mean like when you're yelling obscenities through a bullhorn, when you're yelling obscenities at children and innocent people that are just trying to live peacefully after a long day's work, and law enforcement just chooses not to charge you and arrest you because they don't want to take resources away from other things that need attention, that need law enforcement's resources. Like, you mean like that, Betty?
You didn't break the law, but either way, it doesn't really affect me. It hasn't stopped me yet, right? A year of this, and we're still out here and we're getting bigger.
Yeah, no, see, this is the thing is now, I mean, as far as this case goes, I'm just making fun of her. Like, I don't give a fuck that she's out there right now because she hasn't done anything wrong. If I'm being completely honest, she hasn't done anything wrong. So her being out there right now, like, it makes me mad in the sense that, like, she's just, this is just another tragedy that she's pimping. You know what I mean? But that's my issue. But she's, like I said, she hasn't done anything out there to interfere with an investigation. She hasn't yelled at anybody. She hasn't victimized anybody, at least not yet. She hasn't questioned anybody. Now, as soon as she starts going around knocking on doors and asking people, potential witnesses, questions, then I'm going to have a problem. But so far, I'm just making fun of the fact that she doesn't know shit about what she's doing or talking about. That's just funny to me. And that's what we're going over.
Bigger, we're getting better. We're doing better things. We're doing better coverage of these cases. We're getting
you're not.
Insight, a better perspective. And that's what we like to do. And we like to
you're fangirling Brian Enton. That's it. You're going, they towed another car. They towed another car right behind me. They towed another car. Look. And my feet are freezing. Oh, look, it's Brian Enton. Like, that's not reporting or investigating. Wait, there is a press release? I'm press. How did I not get the Wait, can you, Olivia, find the press release? Hold on, I gotta find the press release. Where's the press release? That's not reporting, investigating. That's just being in the way at best.
I'd like to give that back to you guys because it's you that are supporting us that's bringing us to these places.
And so far, what you've given them is, oh, look, they're towing a car. I don't know why they're towing cars. Can you tell me why they're towing cars? It's in a press release. Oh, a press release, huh? Well, Can you tell me, what they're going to do with the cars? It's in the press release. Look at the press release. Who are you with? I'm with YouTube.
Able to be in Idaho without you guys. We wouldn't be covering this case from outside of the house if it wasn't for every one of you. Period.
You're not covering
without
anything.
My
though.
audience, without my subscribers, my members, and the people that love and support the work that we do, without you, none of it would be possible.
It's not work though.
Linda Lou says stabbing would leave lots of bloods. The kids probably barefooted. Good perspective, but I think it was still a little cold. November. It's getting chilly here. I don't know how cold it was the night.
Look at how stupid her audience is. The stabbing would leave a lot of blood. You think? The kids were probably barefooted. Only one wearing shoes would be the suspect and left prints, unless contaminated by outsiders. Sure, it wasn't contaminated by outsiders. And yeah, well, dude, lady, Linda Lou, lady, how do you know they were barefooted? First of all, I mean, if they were sleeping, some people like to sleep barefooted. Some people like to sleep in their socks. But yeah, I mean, they were lying down. Like they were in bed, lying down. Of course they didn't have shoes on. Like, what are you talking about? I got to see Betty's response to this, because that really, like, this was a smart comment. I have to put in my insight on this.
In question, I know it wasn't as cold as it was today, but I can think that it was cold. I'm not sure if no shoes would really work.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm trying to. I mean, yeah, it was cold, dude. On the 13th, the high was 33 and the low was 26. Yeah, it was cold, dude. And the low was only 5 degrees higher than it was when you were. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's so sad. He was the second car that was, the red Jeep was Ethan's.
Aww.
Yeah, that was sad. Olivia had a lot of emotional stuff with this. I had to look at her and just say, and it's hard because we come out to these cases, we're human beings, and it's hard to look at a house and know that the atrocities that went on inside that home. It's absolutely horrific. And then your mind starts going through and it even gets worse.
This coming from somebody who takes pride in being on a team with MGL, who went to the Watts house where a man strangled his pregnant wife and 2 children to death, 2 small daughters to death, and showed up to the house and picked up rocks as souvenirs like a fangirl. but this is who this person takes pride in teaming up with, quote unquote, and is sitting here talking about how looking at a house where atrocities took place is so emotional for them. Right. Okay.
People, may know this, but if you don't and you're just tuning in for the first time, Kaylee followed Olivia. So
oh my God.
Kaylee was one of our subscribers, or one of
Mhm.
Olivia's subscribers. She didn't subscribe to Bullhorn Betty, but we can.
Nobody
acknowledge that she's
cares.
following Olivia. She knows who I am. That's a fair statement. What we say?
Dude, you know how many people fucking like that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean fucking anything. Dude, I have 16,950 subscribers, and I'll probably get at most 5,000 views on this. Just because somebody follows somebody doesn't mean that they're aware of all their content and they're fans. That does not mean shit. Okay? That doesn't mean anything. And it sure as fuck doesn't mean that they know who the fuck you are. Was that Justice? Thank you. I'm convinced they never cover Florida cases because of that law. Without her heckling, she can't scam her followers. Exactly. I can't wait. I mean, I hope nothing bad happens, but it inevitably will. But when that does happen, and there's a case in Florida right in her neck of the woods, it's horrible and bad, she's not going to get to do anything about it. Because now there's a law based on her actions at the laundry house.
So she followed Olivia. She knew who Olivia was.
God.
She knew who Bullhorn Betty was.
She doesn't know who Bullhorn Betty was, man. She didn't fucking know who the fuck you were.
I keep wanting to call them children, but they're not. They're young adults. These young adults.
Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't she have a fucking TikTok? Doesn't Betty have a TikTok? Why wasn't she followed on TikTok by Kaylee if she knows who she was? And she's not lying. Like I saw, there's one of the clip channels actually showed it, that Kaylee's TikTok. I mean, she followed a bunch of people. A lot of people follow people on TikTok, dude. It doesn't mean that they're familiar with every bit of their content. For all we know, she subscribed to her, or she hit the follow button and never paid her any attention again. And whenever one of her videos popped up, she's like, no, I want to watch something funny. Skip. That doesn't mean shit.
Were only 3 years. The two older ones were only 3 years younger than Olivia. This hits Olivia. This hits home for Olivia. Like, these are kids that she could have went to school with. And then you couple that with Kaylee following her true crime stuff, and now we are covering Kaylee's case.
I understand,
I can't describe.
If there was, like, you know, if God forbid something happened to somebody who is consistently in my chat, you know, and like I heard that something happened to them, you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, fuck yeah, that hits home. You know what I mean? For sure, that hits home. That would be horrible, you know, because like I highlight your comments and I interact with you guys, sure, but I mean, a follower on TikTok, that's just so fucking general, man. That's just so general.
Describe how that feels. It doesn't feel good. It is a very emotional
God, you're such an idiot.
Journey. It's sad.
It's an emotional journey.
But we are here to help. And how can we help? We can just provide the facts. Provide the facts and try to, let people know, because the biggest concern here is because law enforcement knows that this was a target attack. I have a funny feeling law enforcement knows who may have been responsible and are working right now to get the evidence necessary to put that person behind bars.
See, right there. I just fucking read the press release. There's no suspects yet. I just fucking read it. If you knew anything about press releases, member of the press, well, then you'd know when law enforcement puts out press releases, and you would know what they say. Like the one I just read that says that they don't have any suspects yet. The fuck are you talking about?
I have to believe that that's what's going on, because I cannot believe that a captain, a captain and a chief of police would come to the public where there was four slain, kids. I want to call them kids because they're kids to their parents, and they're still in school. Parents are still taking care of
They're in college.
these young adults because they are in college.
And they were all over 21. And yeah, I would probably refer to them as a kid, for sure. But don't try to make it seem like they're children. She was about to say children. It's ridiculous. It wouldn't even be a debate. It would go easier for me than when I got to confront Dolly and ask him questions. I would ask her simple questions. It wouldn't even be a debate. I would ask her simple questions. And she knows, this is the thing, is she's aware of how full of shit she is, because she will never, ever defend herself. Like, I would invite her to be on this platform, or even on her own platform, if she will allow me to ask her questions and she doesn't mute me or interrupt me. I would be more than willing to have a respectful conversation and ask her serious questions about what she's doing and why she does them. Thank you, WNC Granny, for saying out loud what I'm thinking. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be a debate, it would just be simply like, I would ask her this one simple question. How can you say that you are for victims when A, you defended Jared despite the emails that show him practically admitting what he did to his cousin at that age on 2 separate occasions? How can you admit that and call yourself a victim? How can you say that you defend victims when you are clearly interfering with an investigation every time you go out to one of these locations? I would ask her, what evidence do you have that Dawn or Candace did something to Summer? Where's your evidence? And when she inevitably gets to the point where she tries to talk in circles, because I know that's what she'll do, and I'll just simply be like, stay on task, answer the question. What solid evidence did you have that Dawn and Candace did something to Summer? And when she can't answer that, then I'm going to say, then what justification do you have for showing up to their job and getting them fired, when for all you know, they're just missing their daughter?
And it's just, it's bad. I just don't see them saying that there's no danger if there's no danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in Crystal, Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's case, they kept saying that the assailant is out of the area.
They're not saying that there's no danger. They're saying that it's not something that you should be so concerned with and scared for. You shouldn't be scared to live in your own home and walk around your own neighborhood. No. Because there's a difference between there being a danger. Obviously, they're trying to find out who this person is because they want to lock them up, because obviously they're a dangerous person. Of course, anybody capable of murdering 4 people with a knife, or any weapon for that matter, anybody capable of that is obviously a dangerous person. They're just saying that they feel that this murder was targeted, and therefore they don't feel that the public has anything to be scared of. Yes, obviously there's the obvious thing that there's somebody out there who murdered 4 people and they need to be locked up. Yes, they are to be considered armed and dangerous. Of course. Anybody capable of that horrific act is dangerous for sure. But that doesn't mean that, you know, people who live in the area shouldn't be comfortable going to the store because the murder was targeted. Like, Betty.
area. We couldn't understand how they knew that. It's because they had known, you know, especially there for a while. They knew who it was, and they knew he had left town. They also knew.
What? Where are you getting that information from? I gotta hear that again.
I don't see them saying that there's no danger if there's no danger. You know what I'm saying? Like even in Crystal, Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's case, they kept
Okay,
saying
she's
that
talking about a different
the
case.
assailant is out of the area, and we couldn't understand how they knew that. It's because they had known, you know, especially there for a while. They knew who
Really?
it was.
I'm wondering though. I'm not familiar with that case, but I'm wondering if law enforcement publicly said that there was no suspect when they knew who he was.
And they knew he had left town. They also knew, and we found out, you know, a little while later, that after we had met with the Grand County Sheriff's Department and brought up Adam's name, that he was already dead. He was already dead. We didn't know that.
Of course, you didn't know it. You don't know anything.
Congratulations on the 22K and 1 year, and your 1 year. Yeah, many people. Olivia and I were coming here. It was just crazy.
Oh, she'd never get picked.
I've always talked about. We were just talking about on November 19th.
Constance Sue has something to say. She would never get selected for jury duty. Like, I mean, she'd get the jury duty notice, but then, you know, when it comes time for them to do jury selection, she's not going to get picked for jury duty. That's not going to happen. She's going to try to get on that jury, and they're going to smell it coming a mile away that she's trying to get on that jury. That's what would happen.
How that was the day that I created the Bullhorn Betty logo. And then I'm like, but November 29th is truly the 1 year anniversary for the Bullhorn Betty channel, because that was the first day that I actually did my first Bullhorn Betty live. It was on November 29th. And so Olivia and I were talking, and we were talking about something. I think we were talking about logos and designing a logo, because many of you guys, if you haven't learned, Olivia and
that doesn't surprise me.
On a channel together.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me that somebody did that. I mean, she's she got media clearance, I guess. I'm sure she's watching her P's and Q's right now because of the fact that she's been sued. So she's being very, very careful. But I wouldn't be surprised that somebody reported her because people fucking don't like her. She's a fucking dirty, dirty motherfucker, man. People simply don't like her.
We're in the processes of designing the logo, figuring out what our content's going to be, setting up all these things, putting our goals and plans together for that. And then I was saying, oh yeah, something was just like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, well, I said, well, the other logo I made on the 19th, I said the 29th is really when I debuted, and it's like the light bulb went off. It's like, holy crap, today's the 29th. And I looked over at Livia, looked over at me, and it's like, today's Bullhorn Betty channel's 1 year anniversary. Holy crap. And we're pulling into Moscow, Idaho to cover a gruesome case.
Please.
It's sad. But
hold, please. Yeah. So Betty says that November 29th is the Bullhorn Betty anniversary. If you'll look, you'll see Bert Toast community post from yesterday. Toast said, I know math is hard, but wow. When did a year equal 18 months? What is it in dog years? So here, Bullhorn Betty 1 year anniversary. That's her post there. And yeah, right here, as you can see, joined May 13th, 2021. May 13th, 2021. Yeah. It's been more than a year, Betty. It's been more than a year. Why are you so stupid, Betty? I don't understand it.
Guys, we doubled that. We have 22,000 subscribers to the Bullhorn Betty channel. We
Dude,
are about to hit. Let me go over here and just make sure I'm correct.
She had triple
don't want a
digit,
hater saying I'm
and
lying.
it doesn't affect her channel in any way, but she had triple digit dislikes on her. Triple digit dislikes on her video from yesterday, the one before this, on her live from in front of that house. Like, people subscribe to you because they just don't want to miss the next shit show. That's it. There's only so many people that are participating in your chat that actually give a fuck about what your insight is. And those people are pretty stupid because we could tell by their comments.
Line to my audience, the one thing I do not like doing, right? I do not like doing. Let me get to my channel. I mean, we are almost like to I wanted 1 million views. I'm looking right now at this count, and I have 2,938 views, or 38,000.
You're welcome.
85 views. We're almost literally 2-3 million views on this channel.
You're welcome.
I was hoping to hit 3 million when I saw how close it was. I was hoping to hit 3 million today, but who knows? I mean, this is growing. I truly believe before the end of this year, I truly believe literally in the next week, within the next week, we're going to hit that 3 million view mark. That's amazing. There are literally people on YouTube that have been on here for 5 and 6 years and haven't even scraped 1 million views. And I have been on here for 1 year.
No, that's accurate.
And
you guys are saying that it's not true.
Over the 3 million view mark.
It's accurate. She has, I'll tell you right now, 2,963,831 views. She's not lying about that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm literally up here viewing her, giving her a view to troll her. How many other people do you think are doing that, Betty?
That is amazing. It's a lot of hard work. This was not easy. You guys have watched me be brutalized. You have watched my name be dragged through the mud, all to bring true crime to you in the way that I want to bring it to you.
Exactly.
So you know what?
The way that you want to bring it. Keyword. I bring true crime to you the way I want to bring it, which is inaccurate, unethical, and just plain wrong.
I don't care. I'm going to still continue to bring the content to you that you guys want to see, whether our haters like it or not, right? They do not get to dictate what I do for this channel. They don't get to dictate what you choose to support. They don't get to dictate. They can bitch about it. That's why we call them the sob squad, because all they do is cry and complain. Not one time has anybody that has ever attacked
Crying,
me went out and
laughing,
posted
maybe.
a missing person flyer. Not one. That should tell you a whole lot about the people that don't like me. You know who doesn't like me? People that don't want to help these cases. That's who doesn't like me. Because why would they care? Right? Why would they care what I'm doing? So I knew it. Dolly was right. Dolly's serial killer. I'm not to the serial killer yet. So let me go over the theories, some of the things that changed my perspective on this case.
So Dolly thinks that it's a serial killer. Okay. That doesn't shock me or surprise me in the slightest bit. It does not. The fact that Dolly would think that it's a serial killer. I mean, look, y'all, look. I mean, stab 4 people. 4 people stabbed to death. Man, that sounds like a serial killer to me. It would sound like a serial killer to you, Dolly, only because you don't know what a serial killer is. A serial killer would mean that there has to be 3 or more incidents such as that one with the same MO and similar murder weapon. That's what a serial killer technically is. Okay? Like, that's not, I mean, yeah, a gruesome murder of 4 people does not constitute a serial killer. It just doesn't. Okay? Like, watch a documentary, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
On this case, I truly believe, now that I saw the property, now that I see how it's set up, now I see the points that could potentially be for an assailant to enter the home, then I remove all the things that we know an assailant wouldn't do. Anything that's going to be difficult, they're not going to do, right? They want something that gives them the stealth that they need. They want to be undercover. They don't want people knowing that they're there. They're using a knife, not a gun. A gun would have done the same exact thing. The problem is it would be loud and people would be walking out of their house. So there is a phase of planning that went along with this, consciously or
how can you say that a gun would do the same exact thing? What are you talking about? First of all, we haven't even seen crime scene photos. We don't know the details of how many times any of the victims were stabbed. We don't know if does a gun slice somebody's throat from ear to ear? No, it doesn't. No, a gun would not do the same thing that a knife would do. That's why it's called stabbing versus shooting. Okay? Not the same thing.
Consciously. Is this something that was brainstormed or hatched in somebody's brain, and there was a triggering event that just put what was going on in their brain into motion? I don't know. Was the person intoxicated that did this? I don't know. But what I do know is seems to me,
what difference would it make if that person was intoxicated? Betty? See, I know it makes a difference to you because you become violent when you drink, because you have an extensive police record that tells us this. But the thing about that is that matters to a person like you. Only a person like you. See, to a person like me who can handle my liquor, and a person like anybody in my chat, being drunk is not in any way, shape, or form an excuse for violent behavior. None at all. It doesn't matter if that person was intoxicated or not. It makes no difference. That person is, that's why you never hear that as a defense in court. In fact, in some cases where somebody actually gets killed from vehicular manslaughter because they were drunk, it actually gets them convicted that much easier. So yeah, you know, like the DUIs that you've gotten,
looking at that whole place, that back door, either the windows or the sliders, would have been in the most opportune place for that assailant to get into that home. I truly believe the reason why law enforcement is on the back side of that home is because it had evidentiary value.
We already
I
know
believe
that.
the assailant came in that way and it exited that way. I don't believe that the assailant.
We already know that the back door was unlocked. And that's how they got in. Everybody knows that. Don't sit here and be like, oh, well, I believe that back has evidentiary value. No, dude. Like, we already know. We already fucking know. What are you talking about?
The assailant came through a window on the front of that house or through that front door. And
No.
there's a lot of reasons why. And one of the reasons is
no, they didn't come through the front door. We already know that. Don't. Like, how are you going to travel all the way to Idaho where you hate the cold and not at least brush up on the facts of the case? Exactly, Lisa Mack. That's what I'm saying. Like, why the fuck are you even there? You don't even know anything about this case. What are you talking about?
Reasons is there's just too much activity out there. Out the front, too much activity. You got an apartment across the street. You got the apartments to the side. The only place that gives you that ultra exclusive, area is literally directly behind the house where I showed you on my live. If you guys haven't seen it, we had a live. I think it was
we already knew that.
Scroll through it. When I get to that house, we actually walk around that house. Not totally because I was freezing. Tomorrow will be much better because we will be dressed appropriately.
I've never heard somebody complain so much.
Cold as hell. But at least we will, have different modifications to help us out. The hand warmers, the hot hands, the gloves. I'm probably going to put additional layers. I've got a sweatpants.
Belagi.
Literally,
I'm 45 and don't look nearly as scary as fake news.
It's just to keep me warm. It's almost like a blanket, except it's worn as pants. They're like extra large, so I can literally put like 3 or 4 different pants on and then put that over it. I'm a Florida girl, okay? We layer. We learn to layer because, we're not used to the cold at all. Like, it gets 60 in Florida, we're freezing. That's cold to us.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm down here, like, we went through 12-degree.
You don't think people in Idaho get cold? You don't think people in Idaho, because they live there, you don't think that they layer? What they don't do is complain about the cold as much as you do. That's what they don't do. But they dress appropriately. They're still human beings. And they get cold. Frostbite's a thing. You're not immune to frostbite if you live in a cold climate. I promise. You still get cold. Okay? I promise those people layer too.
Weather. Like, my brakes didn't really want to work. Like, I drove slow. I made sure I was careful.
My bad.
We arrived alive. We didn't we? No accidents. Not even near misses. Not even near misses. The only thing.
Did she just go, we arrived alive, didn't we? Did she just do that? Did she just really, like, out loud, like, get confirmation from Olivia that they arrived breathing and alive? Wow.
The only thing that happened was one time when I was coming up to a stoplight, the car was, or not a stoplight, it was a stop sign. The car would not stop, but it was just, I think it was like 5 miles an hour. So it just kept sliding a little bit. So I just took a right. I just took a right, went up, did a little U-turn.
Pump the brakes, bro.
No problems. That was the only problem we had the whole way up here.
Pump the brakes.
Was one left-hand turn.
Dude, if you know how to drive, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, okay, I lived, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and I spent a little bit of my childhood, a good part of my childhood, in West Virginia. Okay, lot of hills in West Virginia, and it snows. It gets cold and it snows in the wintertime. And but then I moved to Florida. I moved to South Florida when I was 12, I think. And I moved to South Florida when I was 12, and I learned how to drive, obviously, when I became of age to learn how to drive. And I didn't learn how to drive until later on. But I was always a very careful driver. I think I was 20 when I started driving, actually. And I learned how to drive, and I was really careful. And I remember I had to drive to West Virginia to visit family one Christmas, right? And I had no experience driving in the cold. So I drove from Miami, Florida, all the way to Charleston, West Virginia. And I had no experience driving. But the thing is you have an instinct. Like if you know your car, okay? If you know your car, you have an instinct on how to drive it, Like, yeah, you might slide a little, but you can, if you're going at a safe speed, you can get control of your car. Absolutely. But, but I'm going to be careful. Yeah, the curves are no joke in West Virginia either. But yeah, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to drive at a safe speed and pump the brakes when needed, but I'm not going to be like, "Oh my God, who drives in this?" It's just you simply know your car and you drive it accordingly to the conditions that you have to drive. You drive on a fucking gravel road, you're going to drive slow so it doesn't fucking spit up fucking you're not going to peel out in a gravel road and then damage your paint job on your car. You're going to use your common sense to not get into an accident. You're in control of a piece of machinery, and it's just simple. If you know your car, you know your brakes, you know your steering, you know how sharp your power steering is and how it isn't, whatever. You know your engine when you have to switch gears. Like if you just know your car and you kind of become part of it. Yes, you adapt. It's very, very simple. Like you don't deserve a fucking trophy for driving in a cold climate where it snows.
And I had to turn right because the car was kind of sliding at a slow pace. There was no cars coming. It wasn't a dangerous situation. It could have been like if a Mack truck was coming and the car wouldn't stop, we could have been in a pickle, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't even.
Well, that Mack truck would have been driving very slow once it saw you.
Nervous. I just coasted right around, turned around, came back. And so it was a conjoined target, new conclusion. A lot of people have been bringing up the whole frat house. Now, I have just because they're associated with the frat house or a frat or a fraternity of any kind doesn't necessarily mean that it was because of an altercation at a party either. It may not have been an altercation at a party at all. It may be a member, maybe a member of another one. But I still never believed that Ethan was the target. I think Ethan was the surprise as opposed to the target. It seems to me that,
how do you know that?
There's a lot. Like Olivia and I, when we left, we went out and
why would Ethan?
Road. I can't remember. I got to remember the names of them. But
Ethan could absolutely have been the target for all we know. So Ethan and Xana were at a party. For all we know, something happened at that party. We still don't know what happened at that party. I mean, what are you talking about? You don't even have any information that would indicate that Ethan probably wasn't the target. What the fuck are you talking about? Where's that conclusion coming from? Like, what brought you to that theory? Now, I don't think Ethan was the target. What do you mean you don't think Ethan? Based on what? Based on what?
But there was the fraternity house right there. There was Sigma Chi fraternity house. You look right down the side of that, you see their house. Plain as day. You could literally see stuff in the window.
I'm gonna shut that down.
And this was all the way out of that community and on.
I mean, is it possible that it could be a fraternity prank that's gone very wrong? I mean, we're talking about a fucking millionth of a possibility, like, but the likelihood, no way. I mean, how does a prank go wrong where you murder 4 people brutally with a knife? You know what I mean? I don't see how that no. I'm gonna shut that down right now. That makes no sense. Sorry.
On I-95. And you could see there are.
Thank you for the super sticker, Mad Catter. I appreciate that.
Okay, it's not an interstate, but it's a road. But you literally turn, like, we're gonna have to go back and get pictures. Olivia turned around, it's like, holy crap, we can see it. I'm like, yeah, see it.
Right, 80s baby. That's what I'm saying.
You could literally be far away from that home. And if you got the right angle, you could see through those windows. And put some binoculars on, you're done. You got it. And that's from that far away. I guarantee if Olivia grabbed her camera with her new lens, she would have had a picture from that far away where you could see something in that window. Seriously.
Okay.
That's scary.
I mean, I see what you're saying, and I'm not picking on you, I promise. I mean, you're leaving comments and you're really the only one that's doing any speculating in my chat. So, I'm gonna address the speculation and give my opinions. That's why you're leaving them, obviously. But you're saying, not a prank as such, sorry, but don't they do initiations? Okay, so you're saying an initiation more likely, but still, I don't see how an initiation would consist of 4 people or would result in 4 people getting stabbed, to death. I just don't see that. I mean, that's a gang initiation, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's the only initiations that I know of where it requires somebody to actually kill someone would be a gang, but definitely not a fraternity or a sorority.
We know that the girls have left their windows open, blinds open before. We know that there's a bunch of people that live in and around there. There's literally a number of people that could have seen them. But my theory has changed, where I thought it was more in line with a crime of passion.
I guarantee you that law enforcement has already interviewed everybody around there that is a potential witness. I guarantee you that's what an investigation entails.
Jilted lover, an entanglement type of situation, an ex-boyfriend, a current boyfriend that's about to be dumped. I was thinking in the lines of that. After being at that house, my theory has changed a little bit. I think that they know who did it. I think that whoever did this knew them. I think they knew who it was. I still think it.
Well, it doesn't take a genius, Betty. Okay. Yes, it definitely looks like a crime of passion for sure. Every murder has a motive. It wasn't a robbery. Nobody was assaulted sexually. So, which, by the way, she hasn't mentioned once yet, because that's very significant that there was no sexual assault on any of the victims, and 3 out of 4 of the victims were female. So that's extremely telling. That's a big puzzle piece right there. But I mean, it doesn't take a genius to come to the conclusion or to at least theorize, not conclusion, but theorize that this was a crime of passion. There's 4 people murdered with a knife and there was no forced entry. Yes, likely they knew this person to some degree. On what level remains to be seen. But I would lean towards they probably knew the person to some degree.
It's a guy. I had an opportunity to speak with Dolly on his live today. Dolly Vision. If you haven't seen that live, you can go there and listen to our conversation. But him and I, he's still on Team Serial Killer. I'm not there. I understand why. He explained it exactly why he still believes it, and has a lot to do with the other unsolved homicides in the area near there. Apparently, they've all happened on the 13th, he said. They all happened early hour mornings, and they all were, a knife was used. So I do understand why he's coming to the conclusion he's coming to. I absolutely understand it, and I absolutely understand it while anybody in our audience is still on Team Serial Killer. I get it. I would be too. I would be too. To be honest with you, I would be too. However, the only reason why I'm not is because I really just don't believe it. Like, in my gut, it's like everything's lining up that this could potentially be a serial killer.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just a second there, Professor. So supposedly there was multiple murders in the same area on the 13th. Really? Because I haven't heard that at all. I haven't heard that at all. Yeah, Team Serial Killer. It's just stupid. I haven't heard that at all. What other murders on the 13th in that area? And yes, the last murder was I thought the last murder was in 2015 as well, Lauren B. Yeah, Dolly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. We already know that Dolly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, the one thing that this team of Bettys has in common is none of them know shit about the cases that they cover. None of them. Not MGL, not her, not Jaundice, not Dolly. None of these people, not JLR, none of them know shit. They don't do any actual research. None at all. Yeah, they just roll up. That's what they do. They just roll up. Oh my God. You guys are killing me in the chat.
But in my gut, I just don't believe it. I truly believe that somebody went in that house. I believe it's a cop.
Let me tell you guys something. I don't have any gut feelings regarding this case. You know why? Because I don't have the instincts to have a gut feeling. I'm not qualified to have instincts in things like this. I don't have gut feelings because I'm not a qualified investigator. Okay? So she's not getting gut feelings. Now, the reason why I don't feel that this is a serial killer, it's not because it's I don't feel it in my gut. It's because the facts that law enforcement has released to the public dictate that it's not. There's nothing that says that it is. Now, who knows? Another murder might strike up and happen again. Same MO, same murder weapon. Who knows? Could happen. But I'm saying that there's nothing, as far as the facts that law enforcement has shared with us, there's nothing to indicate that this is a serial killer. It's ridiculous. See, people like Dolly want it to be a serial killer because Dolly has these little thumbnails that have fucking Jason and Freddy on them and shit. Like, idiots like that want it to be a serial killer because it's more dramatic and it's more entertaining for them to follow because they don't actually give a shit about victims getting justice. What they give a shit about is being entertained and don't give a fuck that real people's lives have been affected by this. So anybody who's going serial killer are people who just simply look at this as entertainment, not as people who genuinely want to get justice for these people, for these victims, for their families.
It's a college age kid, somebody a few years older or maybe a couple years younger, but in college with them or has been in college, maybe a recent graduate. We know they had a recent graduation. So again, I'm still on that theory. I'm still in that mindset.
Mona Lisa, you can mention other channels in here. I'm fucking reviewing another channel in here right now. I don't have that rule. I mean, I've dabbled with that rule where it's like, don't mention other creators in here, but you know, that would be hypocritical. So you can mention other creators in here. It doesn't matter.
Mindset.
I'm not in competition with anybody. I want to be very clear about that. It's perfectly okay if you mention other true crime channels in here that you like. That's perfectly fine. I'm not in competition with anybody. And as far as calling out shitty people, like if there are other channels that do that, such as Burt Toast or anybody else that does this, yeah, man, of course, you know, like to me, that's just more people exposing the truth. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in competing with anybody. That's, you know, you can mention other channels in here, especially if you like them and you respect them and the reason why. I might be like, nope, I know that creator and they fucking suck. I might do that, but you're okay with mentioning creators in here. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Whether you like them or dislike them, it's fine.
Is somebody that they know. I do believe that they came in the back side of the house, either through the window, because Chris McDonough, and we saw the window screen out, that cinder block there. I can tell you that the law enforcement has left that scene exactly the way it was. They have not moved anything. They've gone in there. They've done their testing. They've done their photographs. They've done their 3D imaging, but they have left that entire crime scene intact. They haven't moved anything. I guarantee the smell of the blood.
That's because it's their fucking job.
Everything other than their bodies is exactly the way it was when that happened.
My God, dude. It's their job. What are you talking about?
And they just removed the cars today. Now, are they going to be releasing that crime scene soon? It's possible that they could be releasing that crime scene soon. Because
what do you mean?
The fact that the cars are being removed. It looks like they're doing their final stuff to.
Yeah. One thing we're not going to do.
Scene. But I do believe.
Okay, let me call out this person here. Molly, the life coach Khan. Nice troll name, by the way. But to say something as careless and as ridiculous as Duty Ron has officially become as bad as BHB. No. Duty Ron, along with a lot of other creators, made a very, very simple and honest and an innocent mistake. But see, when you mention other creators in here and you say something bad about a creator that I have respect for, you're going to hear it from me directly. And I'm not going to have you come in here and talk shit about Duty Ron and disrespect him and compare him to the likes of this idiot that's on my screen next to me. You're not going to do that because Duty Ron has put in decades of civil servant work. He is an experienced and retired homicide investigator from New York City. Okay? And I'm not going to have you disrespect his service because he made a very non-malicious and silly technical mistake that numerous other YouTubers did too. It's not the end of the world. All it did was postpone a hearing for another 2 weeks. Is it bad for the victims? Yes, it is. But it's not like these people disrespected the victims. They simply did something that they didn't know was happening. They didn't understand how the meeting, how joining the stream worked. They were part of the stream. They didn't realize they were part of the stream. That's all it was. They thought that they were just streaming it. So people talking, they didn't realize. And it was just a very simple mistake. And I'm not going to have Duty Ron drugged through the mud for doing something that wasn't malicious in the slightest bit. Like, come to me and talk that shit in my chat when you've put in fucking decades of work as a homicide investigator or as an attorney or anybody who's actually brought justice to victims' families. You come in here and talk to me about Duty Ron when you can do that. And guess what? I'm still going to shut you the fuck down and tell you you're wrong.
I believe the assailant went through the back patio, sliding glass doors or windows. That would explain why the two bottom people on the first floor were not touched at all. If he went through the front door, I truly believe that the people on the bottom floor, would also be dead. Locked doors or not, because this guy didn't really care. I believe he would have kicked those doors. I don't believe anybody in that community would have even been watching.
How the fuck do you know that? So stupid. Like, how do you know this dude wouldn't have just been like, you know what? Shit, door's locked. Guess I'm not killing anybody today. How do you know? If the doors were like, you're sitting here saying that this person would have kicked in the door. This person got in and out completely undetected. Everything about this crime dictates that this person would out of their way to be undetected. And you're telling me through your expert theorizing here that you believe this person would have just kicked in a door and carelessly brought all this attention to themselves and made a whole shit ton of noise and alerted his victims so they would have a chance to defend themselves. That's your theory. That's genius. Top notch, Betty. Shannon Marie, thank you so much. Harsh Reality went over a Reddit thread that he believes, and it was someone who had insider info, and the person stated they believed Maddie was the target and she had the worst knife work. Thoughts? Okay, I'll give you thoughts on that. I don't get my information from Reddit. I don't respect people who take Reddit threads and think that and talk about them like as though they're gospel. I don't do that. That's just hearsay. Those are random people who could say anything. There's no way to prove that they knew anything. And how would some random person on Reddit actually see the bodies? And I don't think any law enforcement agent would be that irresponsible and start posting things on Reddit about an open investigation. So no, that's not where I would get my information. And Harsh Reality is an irresponsible YouTuber as far as I'm concerned. This is somebody who just continued to spin the narrative that Kylie Rodney, there was foul play behind Kylie Rodney's death, even after it was proven that it was an accident. So I don't respect creators who keep spinning that theory in order to make money. Harsh Reality is fucking trash as far as I'm concerned, simply because he has no respect for Kylie Rodney's memory or her family or loved ones.
And wise enough to even know that anything happened at that time of morning. And the reason why is because the 3 to 4 a.m., let's think about it. Most people are I've already came home from the bars. They're already getting ready to go to sleep. They're drunk. They're not paying attention. They probably, when you're drinking, your sound goes away. So everything has to be amplified. So you're turning your TV up higher. If you're listening to music, you're listening to music at an elevated level because you're
Let's go live, shall we? I thought y'all said she was live. She's not live. I'm not seeing no live. Unless it's Olivia. Is it Olivia that's live? She's not live either. Yeah, she's not live. Last video was 17 hours ago. Oh, she made a clip. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch of short clips. Okay, let's go over those.
Hey guys, it's snowing. Sorry, trying to get my fingers, my little mitts on. So we're out here. It is really, really bad. Snow is on the ground.
It's not bad.
Probably, I don't know, about 3 to 4 inches of snow. This is the area that the 4 were murdered in. This is the entrance road to their home. For those that are new and don't understand what is going on here, in Moscow, Idaho, there were 4 students that had attended the University of Idaho on November 13th. They were slain in their sleep in their home, which is right here. You see the crime scene tape. We're going to get over here. We were out here yesterday live for a little minute. And as you can see, let me see if I can turn this around. Law enforcement is still posted up at this house at this time. We have all of the vehicles.
Of course
that
it is.
were once here. They have all been removed from this location. And so now the only thing here is the Moscow Police Department that is making sure that this crime scene stays secure at all times. And they have the
hold on.
Moscow Police Department. And so now the only
now that I've been corrected that it's Moscow and not Moscow, now when I hear her say Moscow, I get annoyed, even though that's kind of hypocritical. But I mean, I've been talking about this shit since the 13th, or since the 14th, and it's, well, maybe not. Maybe it was just a few days after that. But I've been talking about this case for a while now. The point is, for a good minute now, and I've been saying Moscow because it's spelled like Moscow. But I just have to point out like my own hypocrisy, like right there, because now it's actually bothering me to hear her say Moscow, even though I don't have a right to be bothered by it. But this is really funny. Pay attention to this real quick, folks.
The only thing here is the Moscow Police Department that is making sure that this crime scene stays secure. That is making sure that this crime scene stays secure at all times. This crime scene stays secure at all times. And they have
the my God,
the crime scene tape literally all around the house. They have removed the crime scene at all times, and they have the
she's so distracted.
All stays sure that this crime scene making sure that this crime scene that is making sure that this crime scene stays secure at all times. And they have the
hold on, I gotta say
stays secure at all, making sure the Moscow Police Department that is making sure that this crime scene stays secure
Like cars are trying to get by.
at all
Stupid.
times.
Thank you, Calamity Jade. I appreciate that. This is a true brain freeze. Laughing my ass off. Oh my god, dude. This is so funny. Like that cop is like, dude, lady, get out of the road. Oh my god. There's people that just looked at her and smiled. Like, yeah, stupid. You're in the road. We're trying to get by. You know, the road that you're saying is not quiet and is all hustle and bustle, and you want to stand right in the middle of it and film. Okay. Good move, Betty. Smart. I'm going to keep her slowed down.
And they have the
Cop said, get out of the road.
the crime scene tape literally all around the house. They have removed there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars here yesterday. They started with
dude.
the Ford Explorer.
Who
the
gives a
dark
fuck what
colored
order they
Ford
took the cars, dude?
Explorer. Then it was followed by the red Jeep that many have told us was Ethan's, followed by a white
Like slowing her
Chevy
down.
Cruze.
Slowing her down is just it feels more accurate to like describe her brain activity. It's just like just how I picture her brain working.
And what else? Then Kaylee's Range Rover, and then
Thank you, girl of the valley. Will, it's the only way
the
she could ever
blue
get
Honda
smashed.
Civic. All have been removed from this location. Again, this location is still secure at
funny
this
as hell.
time. And we're just monitoring the situation. But today is going to
We're
be
monitoring the
memorial
situation.
for the 4 that were lost inside this home. So God bless.
There's another
you
one.
guys.
I don't know what's
Stay
on that one.
safe out
I haven't looked at these yet. Hold on.
This holiday.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. We're in the side of the house where Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Zana were brutally killed. The reason
Jesus,
why
dude.
we chose to come back here to do this video is because this is where I truly believe that
It's where law enforcement does.
would have made entry. Either one of these.
It's where law enforcement
is
is confirmed that he made entry.
Sliding glass door below. Right back here, you see that there is a parking lot. We just had an interview with a gentleman that lives in this area.
God damn it.
He says, absent of that light over there.
So there we go, folks. I wasn't even getting, like, I was saying she wasn't doing anything wrong. I was simply making fun of her. Now she's pissing me off because there she is saying that she just had an interview with somebody and she's going around questioning witnesses, and that is detrimental to the investigation.
There.
which it had not been working until recently. Everything back here is pitch black. And that kind of changed my perspective because yesterday I was talking
Oh my
about
God, dude.
how I truly believed that whoever did this had to know not only this house, but the entire community coming and going to be here. But with this being black and people being in bed at 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, it makes it very real that maybe the assailant didn't know this community. However, did just target this house or someone inside this home. This is very, very sad. You know, we can see this home. This home stands very, very tall. We can see this home from a far distance away, still in the distance. And so
Oh my
somebody
God,
could
dude.
actually have watched this home and not even be in this community, in this immediate community, rather. So we have a lot of stuff that we're still trying to figure out. What is known today is that the assailant hasn't been named.
No.
No one has been arrested.
They don't have a suspect. Read a press release, member of the press.
And there is still a killer that is responsible for the 4 slain people inside.
Thank you, girl of the valley. Why does she look all this?
We also had
New
an
name bag lady
opportunity
Betty.
to speak with the gentleman that was wrongfully accused of doing something because he came out to the news.
Wait a second.
Of doing fully. We also had an opportunity to speak with the gentleman that was wrongfully accused of doing something because he came out to the news. Let me tell you, the gentleman that I just spoke to is a very nice person that is just going to school.
Now, look, let me explain to you guys something. This is the same person. She's going, oh my God, how dare they falsely accuse someone? But if, say, a channel that she respects and likes decided to falsely start throwing accusations at that gentleman, she would be saying, he looks suspicious to me and blah, blah, blah. Thank you, meow. You know she practices in the mirror daily, right? I wish she would read if she did that. Like, I mean, if Chris McDonough was spinning a narrative that dude was the killer, she would be all over that shit. So spare me, Betty, with your bullshit.
Trying to get his degree, and he was put in a position that he did not want to be in. So there's a lot of things. I still think that this assailant is still out at large. However, there is new information coming out that is being released that somebody has been put in jail for a September 12th event where they were at the University of Idaho, and they had brandished a knife to some university students as they were going to one of the dorms. So this person apparently has been arrested. We have not confirmed that information, but stay tuned because we are going to the Moscow
Right?
Police
That's what I thought.
Department
Wasn't that
here
debunked?
today.
Wasn't that debunked? Like days ago? Like day before yesterday or the day before that, at least? Yeah, didn't they say that like at a press conference? Maybe not a press conference, but at least a press release. Right. Yeah. What the fuck is she talking about? Press releases, press person. Thank you, Girl of Valley. Yes, Barn Pimple Betty, you daho. Y'all are killing me in this chat. Yeah, I remember them being like, no, it's not related.
And we will get those answers for you. God bless each and every one of you. Let's pray.
We already
for these
have the
victims
answers.
and the victims' families.
Wow, dude.
Ever since I switched to Nexus, my site runs perfect.
Good fucking Lord, man. I can't with this lady, bro. Like that's what her supporters are paying for. That's what her supporters are paying for. Misinformation. On scene misinformation. Amazing. She just did the JLR thumbs up. Let's look at this idiot real quick. Like, hold on. This guy's such a tool. All right. Hold on. So this one is titled Inside Xana Kernodle's Mind. Xana being one of the victims. Oh, shut up.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the tragedy that happened in Moscow, Idaho. 4 college students brutally stabbed in the early morning hours of November 13, 2022, inside a home. Police have made 0 arrests. They haven't identified any suspects who did it. Now, I've been digging deep into the victims, and I want to share with you today a college.
You hear what he said? They haven't identified any victims who did it, or any suspects who did it. Like, that's just means that they're suspects. It means that police are suspicious of them. That doesn't mean that they did it. What are you talking about? They haven't identified any suspects who did it. What? Do you know what a suspect is, dude? I mean, you should. You're a fucking jailbird yourself.
Paper that Xana submitted to her university. This was a few days before the stabbings happened. And I want to share, to provide you some insight of the mind of Xana. I'll share that with you now. And then
Yeah, you do that, Mr. Mentally Unstable. Mr. Spending 10 years in a rehabilitational facility because you fucking psychotically fucking filed lawsuits against fucking the Nazi party, against Nostradamus. Yeah, why don't you give us some insight into your mind? You are nobody to be giving anybody any insight on anybody's mind, dude.
and then we will discuss. But it's definitely worth listening to kind of understand her thinking process.
You don't understand
So
your own
this
thinking
was
process.
an assignment that Xana submitted to her school on 11/8/2022, just 5 days before the stabbings happened. And I'm going to read this. A short essay about the song Blaze by Louis the Child, written by Xana. Blaze by Louis the Child is an EDM song written by the band Louis
Okay, see, I got to speed this guy up because
the Child.
he can barely read.
Dropped the song, they were on the come up, headlining each week. This song is a remix of the original song Blaze by Ty Dolla $ign. And according to drop.com, Louis the Child's twist is a mellow tempo riser that drops like a bomb into a unique
look at
future vast array of
See, you're welcome, JLR. I just made it look like you can read.
Familiar sounds. This song has had over 15 million plays and has been played at countless different concerts. This song is a very nostalgic and reminds me of one of the best days of your life. I first heard it when I started to enjoy listening to EDM for the first time and fell in love. I started listening to Louis the Child much more because of this song. They released.
Okay, so far, like what I'm trying to understand getting into the mind of Xana here. So far, she just seems like a normal kid who's very influenced by music, loves music, and explains why she loves a particular artist. This is about the most normal thing that I've ever read. What the fuck are you talking about? Inside the mind of what?
Released their tour dates, and one of them happened to be in Spokane. My good friend Ellie and I made the trip down and met a few of my other good friends in Spokane for the concert. We got into Spokane, and it was a wonderful sunny day, and we were all so excited to be together and enjoy a night of wonderful music together. As we were walking downtown Spokane and about to enter our hotel, we saw Magic Johnson. Apparently, he was staying at the same hotel as us. We got a photo with him, which was pretty cool. We went out
Oh, yeah,
and got
that's
ready for the
cool.
concert and waited in line until we got in. The scenery is pretty amazing where we were located. When we entered the concert, the lights were mesmerizing. The way they had the stadium set up looked similar in a sphere. When the first song came on, we had already made our way to the front, and the song they started playing was Blaze. I was with my friend Ellie, Emily, and Maya. It was so amazing experience that song and all the rest of them with my closest friends. The song and the lights were a different kind of feeling, as if we all felt free and of no worry about anything else at that moment. It was Ellie's first concert she had ever been to, and she was having the best time of her.
Which is actually what you look for when you go to a concert. That's the feeling you want to experience when you go see an artist that you love.
Life. It was amazing getting to experience one of my favorite songs with some of my best friends while they all were all enjoying life. This is one of the most important things you can do in life. Enjoy the ride, not the destination. And this was submitted by Xana to her school just 5 days before.
Okay, so
as you saw, the EDM scene, right? The EDM music scene, could that have had any factor with what happened? People are speculating that Xana was targeted. She was targeted. She was dating Ethan, who was a member of Sigma Chi Fraternity. Xana and Ethan were both at a frat party just down the street before they.
So wait a second. So this guy's theory is that she was into EDM music and that had something to do with why she was killed? Huh? How? Dude, seriously? Like, are you fucking serious with this? With your little fucking weird media hat? What the fuck are you talking about?
Before they made their way home that night, what type of people did Xana associate with in her lifestyle? Was it directed?
She associated with people who were interested in an education and working hard to build a future for themselves and were goal oriented. That's the type of people that college people are. You wouldn't know anything about that. Instead, you want to try to sue people because you think what's theirs should belong to you, instead of actually putting in the work to better yourself and get an education so that you can start and build an actual career instead of this fucking clown show that you are trying to call a career. It's ridiculous.
Directed towards her. And that's what I'm digging in deep. It's not just Xana. I'm looking into each and every one of the victims here to try to figure out if it was one of their friends, associates, or directed at them. And I'll be covering each victim. So I just wanted to provide that insight. Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not, but that's what it's about. Trying to investigate what's happened. Check out my other videos. I'm looking at all people centered around the neighborhood there. I've been interviewing neighbors and I'm digging deeply in each neighbor.
So you're directly interfering with an investigation. Awesome.
Many multiple apartment complexes around the house with numerous people that stayed in there. And something tells me whoever done this was really, really close to that area. So let me know what you think. Comment. I read your comments. So looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Praying for the community, praying for the community's family, the victims' families. Let's talk soon. I'll be posting more videos very, very shortly. God bless.
Now, like that would be a sound theory if it was reported that the killer left glow sticks behind. But what the fuck are you talking about, dude? How insane are you? This guy, bro. Why has he got a Sam's Club pizza box? Like, what?
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the tragedy out of Moscow, Idaho. 4 college students brutally stabbed in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, inside a home. Police have made 0 arrests. Police have not identified any suspects who did it. Looking into the past,
he said it again.
4 victims: Madison Mogen, Kaylee, Xana, Ethan. 4 victims, right? And I'm going to talk
I was willing to think that was just a slip of the tongue, but he just did it again. The police have not identified any suspects of who did it. Dude, you are a moron.
Talk a little bit about Madison Mogen, right? Wow. Madison Mogen, she was a college student, University of Idaho. She worked at the Mad Greek with Xana, the other victim. They worked at the Mad Greek. But there's another job that Madison worked at. There's another job that I found out that she worked at. Check this out. Tito's Italian Grill and Wine Shop.
Okay.
Somebody posted on her family page that their daughter used to work with Maddie at Tito's. So I contacted Tito's to ask if Maddie worked there, and this was their response. This is a Facebook message I sent to Tito's Italian Grill and Wine Shop. Hi, Tito's. Can I ask you a few questions, please? And then this is just a regular response they give to everyone. Hey there. Thank you so much for reaching out to us.
Of
We have
course.
received your message, and a member from our team will get back to you as soon as possible. Warm regards, the Tito's team. And then they did get back to me. Hi, Jonathan. What questions do you have? Sincerely, the Tito's team. I said, hi, I'm a journalist covering the tragedy in Moscow.
I'm already seeing the bottom here of where it goes. Like they were thinking something along the lines of their product or their service, like, do you have any questions about our product? Would you like to know how our sauce is made? How our delicious pesto is it fresh? That's basically what they think he's going to ask. They don't know who the fuck he is. Then look.
Moscow. I understand that Maddie Mogen used to work for you. Just wanted to get your thoughts on this. Their response. Hi, Jonathan. We are not able to provide any details regarding our internal company operations. Warm regards, the Tito's team. And then I respond.
Wow. Totally fucking blown off. We are not able to provide any details regarding our internal company operations. Yes, of course. And look, and it has an automatic question that he can click on that totally fucking reinforces what I was just saying. It says, what kind of food do you serve? That's what they thought was going on. And then he hits him with this bullshit curveball, and they're like, yeah, dude, we're not telling you shit.
And I responded, thank you. Does it concern you at all that maybe the person who did it was stalking Maddie from your business? And then no response. So this is correspondence. It looks like Maddie did work there. They didn't deny.
Why would you even
confirm
post that? All it does is make you look incompetent. Like, why would you even post that? Like, I wouldn't even say that I reached out to them if that was the response I got. That was a big fucking zero burger, bro. Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Just like, that was a service industry's professional way of giving you the middle finger.
Confirm, but they didn't deny that you worked for them.
Yeah.
So it's not a yes and it's not a no, but it's fair to say that
it's not a yes, it's not a no, but it's fair to say that it was a fuck you to me.
He worked for Tito's. Now, what does that have to do with what's going on? Well, considering that authorities have no idea who did this crime, I think it's important to look at employments where these individuals worked at, because they could have encountered a stalker or someone they had negative interactions with at their jobs. I know Maddie worked at the Mad Greek. Hopefully authorities went to the Mad Greek.
Don't you realize that anybody worth a shit with any real information is not going to talk to you, you dumb shit? Like, they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to talk to your buddy Betty. They're just not. Like, these people want justice for their colleague, for their peer. You're not helping. You're just turning their memory into a joke, into a punchline. And these people don't appreciate it.
Greek and spoken to authorities or spoken to the management there or other employees to see if anyone was lurking around there, and then possibly Tito's. You know, it doesn't mean if Maddie worked there years ago.
Is that some passive aggressive, like, okay, because it's Tito's is an Italian place. Is that his little passive aggressive jab at, I wouldn't eat your fucking pizza anyway. I would eat Sam's Club, just to let everybody know that I eat Sam's Club frozen pizza over Tito's pizza.
She still worked there, and maybe she had something where someone there knew her or met her and then followed her on social media, because Maddie had a big Instagram present following and just eventually stalked her and then took it real life on her. You know, as of right now, there's no suspect, so no stone left unturned, right? You should follow through every lead and every connection that each of the victims had in their past. And employment is a big deal. Employment is a big deal when it comes to these mysteries, you know?
Right. And law enforcement's already doing that, you dipshit. You fucking bobbit dick stump.
You work with coworkers, patrons that go to these businesses, customers, interactions. You know, it's definitely worth looking into. And, you know, sharing that she also worked more or less at Tito's too is some new information, right? So she worked at Mad Greek. It seems like she worked at Tito's. Seems like she's had a pattern in the restaurant business. Subscribe to my channel, like, hit the notification button. I am covering this case. I am looking at all angles, no stone left unturned, digging in. I got lots of videos up, and I will continue to bring awareness. Somebody knows something out there. Hopefully authorities are zeroing in on someone or some people that are involved with this. Praying for the victims.
They're going to do it before you do.
Talk to you real soon. Everyone's, God bless. Stay tuned.
Energize your home with natural gas from ORUD, your affordable home.
Let's see what else this fool has put up. Oh, he gave them a shout out. I mean, he's posted 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos today. Just today. What? Thank you, Girl of the Valley. Appreciate that super sticker.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I have breaking news, everyone. Chronicles of Olivia and Bullwhore Betty are outside the crime scene right now, Moscow, Idaho. They're looking around. They're actually interviewing and talking to people in the area. 4 college students brutally.
Hey, JLR, can you give me a shout out, please?
Stabbed on the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. Probably dark out in a home, and they are outside the home right now. Check this out. So right here,
is a map of the home, and boots on the ground are.
It's a map of the
house
area
right now. Moscow, Idaho. You see them moving. Boots on the ground. Moscow, Idaho. At the house.
Stop saying that.
This is the home right here. 1122. They are out front. Out front as we speak. Stay tuned. I will be posting you updates on information that is gathered in the neighborhood of where this tragedy happened.
Is that vigil going on now? When is that vigil? I don't know when the vigil is.
So those two actually gave me access to track their movements. The community's on edge. They don't know if they're going to encounter the possible suspect. There's reason.
I'll listen. If I do stream that vigil, I'll do it out of respect. I don't know if I will, though. I'll have to see it and feel it out and then decide to go live. But I don't. In theory, I'm going to say no. I see more reasons not to stream it than to actually stream it. But I don't see it being funny, because if Betty is going to be there, and I can count on her being there, I'm just going to point out how disgusting she is for being there if I stream it. But I'm not going to, and if honestly, I might stream it just out of respect, just to spread the love. Obviously, it's a public vigil, and it's designed to honor the memory of these victims. So I don't see anything wrong with taking part in that, as long as that's what we're going to do. But like I said, I'll have to feel it out, see what happens.
There's reason to believe that whoever did this crime is still in that area around that home. They've been out there for the last day. I strongly recommend you guys subscribe to each of their channels. They've been doing lives and updates at the scene. They're telling me that it's very cold out there. They're saying other media outlets are there. They come out for maybe 5 minutes, do a report, and go sit back.
Hey, JLR. All they're saying is that it's cold out there. Literally all they're saying is that it's cold out there, and they're spreading misinformation, getting information wrong, spreading information that's already been debunked by law enforcement in press conferences that you'd think they'd know about since they're press.
Sit back in their car. Olivia and Bullhorn Betty are actually walking around. They're all bundled up, walking around, talking to people, and trying to find answers, trying to find any idea on who did this. I'm constant in contact with them, so when they provide me with some updates, I'll share it with you guys. So definitely subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, check out my other videos. I've been reporting on this case, digging in on individuals centered around the victims, trying to understand their habits, their whereabouts, what transpired around that time and the day before. On the 12th of November, two of the participants, Maddie, and two of the victims, Maddie and Kaylee, were at a downtown Moscow at the Corner Club and a food truck before they made their way back to home. Other two victims, Zana and Ethan, were at a frat party, Sigma Chi, which is right by the home. So yeah, they're out there looking around. Police are still investigating. Police are asking the public for help. They want the public to help them find answers. They are asking the public.
No, they're not. Okay. Dude, they are not asking the public to help go out and find answers. They're asking the public, if you have information, please report it. If you have credible information, please report it. That's what they're saying. They are not saying go out and investigate and start interviewing potential suspects and potential witnesses. Police are not asking for that kind of help. They don't want that kind of help. They definitely don't need that kind of help. So shut the fuck up, dude. Seriously.
Public to provide them with information. They don't have a suspect at this time, no arrests. So the community's on edge. Pray for the families, pray for all the victims.
I will be posting more videos soon, so stay tuned. God
You
bless.
know, you can do more than just pray for the victims. You can do a lot more. And that is shut the fuck up. Stop talking to people that could be used as a witness in a courtroom if there is an arrest made. Like, leave people the fuck alone. Let the cops do what they do because they're trained to do it. You're not. That's what you could do. Okay. So 8 p.m. is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time. My time is when there's going to be this vigil that takes place. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud whether or not I'm going to stream it. If I do stream it, I would have found good reason to. And if I, like I said, if I do, it's going to be absolutely respectful. And that's if somebody there is streaming it. What I hope is that Betty's not streaming it. That's going to bother me. That's going to make me real mad. If somebody who's a member of the family decides to stream it because they want people all over the place to, contribute their positive energy towards their memories, I understand that, and that's respectful. But if I don't want that bad shit on my channel. I don't want that bad juju on my channel of somebody out there clout chasing and filming it clout chasing. If she does something fucked up, then yeah, I'll like if she starts fucking asking people questions at this thing, then I'll stream it later. But I'm not going to go over that live because I don't, during the live, like while that's happening, I don't want to be doing anything except showing my respect the same way that anybody attending the vigil would be. I wouldn't think that that's right. So like I said, if some member of the family is streaming it because they want to share, they want to honor and share that honor with the world, great, then cool. Out of respect, yes, I will stream it and we can all join in on that. But if, like I said, again, if, while that's happening, if somebody like Betty or Olivia are streaming it, I'm not going to, that's not going to be the right time to do that. Everybody, while that vigil's happening, should be doing nothing but paying their respects to these 4 victims. That's all. And yeah, I don't think I could be any more clear about that. $8 p.m. Eastern, yes. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I had a great time. As always, I love hanging out with you guys. Girl of the Valley, you were too generous today. I really appreciate it. And everybody else who showed the channel some support today, man, that was really, really appreciated. I'm just glad that I can entertain you guys and my insight you guys find helpful. So I'm really grateful to you guys that I have this community. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, we'll see about the vigil. I don't know. But anyways, we will regardless do this again very soon, my friends.